What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. Guys, right hot off the presses, we have the new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer, and I've already watched this trailer about 6 times, and I think it's amazing, and I wanted to do a breakdown for it because I just kind of had the time. Like, I knew the trailer was going to hit. It hit. I immediately started taking notes, breaking it down frame by frame, going over a few things. So this is not going to be a reaction because I just couldn't wait. You know what I mean? So this is going to be more or less just a breakdown, but I think this will still serve you guys. You know what I mean? Like, you'll probably watch the trailer a couple times. Maybe you'll be looking for some hints or maybe some insight, and hopefully I can provide that for you. So here we go. I got the trailer queued up right here, and we're going to go ahead and hit play. Now, see what's interesting here. I want to start. So they did that little kind of mini thing in there, kind of spliced together some of the stuff we saw from the teasers, and then kind of go into the trailer. I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's really necessarily worth talking about, but it did interest me. I was like, we're in this new age thing here. So this is kind of cool, guys. Right at the beginning here, we get the shot of him suiting up, and you'll notice right away at the beginning of the trailer, there is a big emphasis on tech. On the technology, not only of Spider-Man, but of Vulture and of Iron Man. And it kind of makes me think of something that Vision was talking about in Civil War, where he says there's a major correlation between all of the enhanced people out there in the world and when Tony Stark reveals himself as Iron Man. So interesting stuff here. So let's watch this and just focus on the tech. So he's got the suit coming on. Look at how that sucks up. Very cool. You know, you got the web shooter, him spinning around. Guys? Classic Spidey.
So to become an Avenger, are there like trials or an interview?
Do me a favor. Can't you just be a friendly...
Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Now, very cool stuff here. First of all, we get some more of that flavor between Stark and Peter. How do I become an Avenger? He really looks up to Iron Man, obviously, and Iron Man totally rushed Peter into this whole Spider-Man thing. I mean, he was already the Spider-Man, but he rushed him into the big scale thing. I mean, the dude came to Germany and was a part of the big Civil War airport battle. So he's now had this huge experience, and he's kind of going back to the friendly neighborhood thing. I love how Stark tells him to just be the friendly neighborhood spider, and then look at this. This is clearly Queens, and he is just in the suburbs, man, like web slinging on the small scale, which I've always wanted to see this because it's always been interesting. You see on the shows and in the comics sometimes the fulcrum for his web slinging in places where there are no tall objects never made sense. Like, he's swinging as though he's like 300 feet up in the air, is where his connection is, and the fulcrum is just this huge arc, and that never made sense. So this is ground level web slinging, which is just a little detail that I super appreciate as a big Spider-Man fan. So
Neighborhood Spider-Man?
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, you know, splashing on the web pool and getting out. Love that shit. And obviously, we've seen this scene before. This is him and his friend. I'm gonna refer to him as Genki because he's literally taken right from Miles Morales' story in the Ultimate Spider-Man. This is Genki. So I'm going to refer to him as Genki. In fact, I don't even know what his real name is going to be in the film because he's Genki, okay? But their relationship and how Genki becomes his confidant and asks him all this interesting stuff is really slice of life, and I really enjoy it. I think it's going to bring a really nice John Hughes aspect to the movie.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube. Can you summon an army of spiders?
Asking him about summoning an army of spiders. Very, very cool because Peter doesn't necessarily have that ability. I know that Kane, the Scarlet Spider, does get that ability later on, and he is a clone of Peter, so it's weird. I think that it has to do with the other, though, which is a whole nother deep cut nerdy thing when it comes to Spider-Man. But I like that call. You know, can you summon an army of spiders? Because that's something that is in the Spider-Man mythos.
Oh, Ned, no.
Do you know him too?
Ned, I think is his name.
Can I try the suit on?
Badass.
Oh, okay. So let's go back to that. So not only is he is Genki, or Ned, I guess, in the mask here, but look at that hologram, man. That is that tech that we saw at the very end of Civil War. This is really, really cool, man. He's able to see different parts of the city, perhaps, schematics of different buildings and stuff to make really informed decisions when being Spider-Man. So I think that's really cool. Like I said, the big theme here is technology. Technology is the theme. Look at this stuff. They're working on tech there.
Like Stark, they
There's
don't
some
care about
Spider-Man
us.
tech. Now, this is really important. You probably missed this, but look at that. That's Donald Glover. That's Donald Glover right there, and they're testing out these illegal weapons. These are all based on Chitauri tech, perhaps some Iron Man tech as well, a hybrid of the two. But this kind of, I don't want to say it confirms, but it really makes me believe that Donald Glover is going to be playing the Prowler. Now, there is some really nice meta commentary on why that is so cool. Basically, the Prowler is the uncle to Miles Morales. That is in the Ultimates. But remember, Donald Glover really got on the map when he showed up a couple years ago to try out for Spider-Man. He wanted to be Spider-Man. He just literally showed up, and the directors and everybody were like, well, you know Spider-Man's white, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm trying out for Spider-Man. And it set the internet on fire. Everybody was really pumped about it. He wanted to play a black Spider-Man, Miles Morales type of thing going on there, and he's kind of aged past that now, especially for their vision that they have in the MCU. But how cool would it be if he is the Prowler, and in a couple years we get his nephew showing up as Miles Morales? I think that could be really, really cool. But I more or less believe that what's going on here with Michael Keaton and them talking about all this different stuff is essentially the crime syndicate, perhaps the Sinister Six or whatever, is upgrading their tech. They are doing things behind the scenes to be able to compete with the Avengers, to be able to on a more or less big scale, be able to affect New York City and beyond. So really cool stuff here, but you might not have seen that when you're just going through the trailer. That is Donald Glover, and I think he's going to be playing the Prowler.
The world's changing, boys. Time we change too.
You see what I mean? That's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that he's trying to change the game for the criminals.
Forget the flying monster guy.
Okay, now this is important. There is a story being told to us in this trailer, which will happen in the movie. We're not sure exactly the beats of the movie, but right here, forget the flying monster man. Tony telling him, forget about it, okay? This is going to be important in a second here.
There are people who handle this sort of thing.
Now, this boat,
weapons barrier was at 2:30.
he's here, he's trying to shut this down, okay? And what ends up happening? He provokes Vulture. Very cool here. This is tragedy. This is real tragedy. People screaming, people could have died, and he wasn't going to do this by himself. So Tony comes in. Tony comes in and more or less saves the day. Now, here's what I think is happening here, just because I know these tropes. That whole, the destruction of the boat was so that the Vulture and his cronies could get away. They had stuff on that boat. I think they're bringing in weapons, and it's a weird way to stow away illegal goods and whatnot, is to do it on a civilian boat, right? So I think that's what's going on. And the destruction of the boat was more or less to cover their tracks and get them to be able to get their weapons and get into the city and all that. So Spider-Man and Iron Man both there. Now here's the thing. Here's what Tony's argument is going to be, and it's a legitimate argument. Is like, look, you showed up to stop this thing. If you hadn't showed up there, this tragedy wouldn't happen. What if people would have died? That's literally what he's about to tell him.
What if somebody had died?
I was just trying to be like you.
I wanted you to be better. I'm gonna need the suit back.
But I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Okay, big important thing here. Hero's journey type stuff. I mean, look, his privileges are being revoked. All this awesome tech, which has been really big focus of the trailer, it's all going to be taken away from Peter, and he's going to be left with just who he is as a person, his moral compass, his beliefs, and the great power that he has inside of him without any tech whatsoever. So I think this is going to be a really cool defining moment for this character, to realize that maybe he doesn't need any of that tech, and although it's great, it is not the thing that makes him Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man, gifted by, this accident, and he finds himself in a situation where this power is is his, and he has the responsibility of having that power, okay? So very cool. I like that. And we haven't seen this in any of the trailers. Tony taking away his toys and Peter having to still do what he feels is right without the aid of that technology.
I screwed up.
You need to stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Boom. Let's pause it right here. Remember when everybody thought that Zendaya was going to be Mary Jane and the whole planet freaked out? I did a video on that. I'm going to link it here. And I literally said in that video, there's a couple of different reasons you shouldn't freak out about this. First of all, you know, it's perfectly acceptable. We live in a culture and a society now with a lot of people of mixed race, and that's totally fine. In fact, it's pretty freaking awesome. And Zendaya is a total knockout. But I also said in that video, I don't even think it's true. I saw it confirmed nowhere that she was Mary Jane, and I think she's just this Michelle character, or whatever her name is. I think it's Michelle. But essentially, like, we're doing this whole Smallville thing with Peter now, where we have multiple love interests around that same time, right? And think about it, when you were younger, yeah, you had this one girl that you were really into. You probably had a couple different girls that you had experiences with or had a relationship with, whether it was physical or not. So I think we're getting that like slice of life John Hughes flavor thing going on here, and the Smallville effect, right? Yeah, so this is our Mary Jane. I don't see it confirmed anywhere, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this is our Mary Jane, right? And this is the first time we get a shot of her. Pretty freaking cool, man. And she's doing this thing where she's telling Peter to stop putting the weight of the world on his shoulders and everything like that. That's pretty deep relationship building stuff. So pretty cool here. Everyone stop freaking out. This is our Mary Jane. We're good.
I want you to understand.
Okay, once again, gotta stop here. Interesting stuff here. Look, Peter is rolling up to this warehouse, and there's a vulture. And this looks to be some kind of a prearranged meeting or something. I really don't know. But Vulture doesn't seem that surprised to see him. Peter's rolling up without the Iron Man tech. And I think this is going to be towards the end of the movie. And this scene is going to be climactic. And yeah, so he shows up here. Cool dialogue here. Let's check this out.
To understand, I'll do anything to protect my family. I know you know.
Okay, so we had two scenes that are kind of spliced together for dramatic effect. That's the shocker, and it looks as though he's fighting Peter at the school. Now, we're going to get into some Sinister Six stuff here. That is just going to happen naturally, I think, in this universe, in this take. We got a lot of scenes kind of spliced together for dramatic effect, and I need to try to differentiate them for you guys. So when Peter shows up there to talk to Vulture, I think that's way late in the movie. I think that this scene right here that I'm paused on right here is going to happen before that, because he gets to see Peter without the mask on, okay? So check this out.
Know what I'm talking about.
Like, once again, that's the warehouse scene. They're splicing this all together. Oh, little side note. I'm sorry I'm all over the place here. But this suit and the way that they have made Peter look... Oh, man, I'm like scrubbing all over here. Sorry, guys. This right here. This is so akin to Ben Reilly with the hoodie. And I mean, come on, we kind of already knew that with some of the images we saw, even from Civil War and all that. But damn, dude, they really went Ben Reilly on us with the hoodie and everything. So fucking cool. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you should just be getting so many just good feelings from this trailer and all the little tidbits. But this is Ben Reilly callback, which is so awesome. But let's keep rolling here.
So don't mess with me.
Yeah, thematically, this right here, this is what I'm talking about. That shot right there. This looks to be on Coney Island, I think, or something like that. And Peter has no mask here. And the Vulture is kicking his ass, man. The Vulture is kicking his ass. And I think he realizes now that he's a kid, and this is where this whole, I know you know things about family. And everybody you love and all that. Look, don't mess with me. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on here with him in the Stark suit. I really believe this is all before Tony takes it away. I don't think in this movie we are going to see him get the suit taken away, then get it back. No, I think going into the end of the second act, towards the finale of the conflict, as we get towards a resolution of this film, that is all going to take place without any Iron Man tech. So everything you see with this suit, I truly believe, like, I think this is going to be during that field trip that we kind of know about, and Peter's going to have to try to save them and do all this stuff. Everything in the Stark suit, I think, takes place before Stark takes it away. It's just what I believe, and then the end of the movie is going to resolve without it. But as I was saying, they clump all those scenes together. I think there's going to be a lot of things going on where essentially Peter becomes, and this happens in the comics, Spider-Man becomes such a nuisance for the Sinister Six that they make him their mortal enemy. Shocker goes and messes him up at the school, and I think that's going to happen after they realize he's a kid, after Vulture has that fight with him and takes his mask off. And they're going to become really personal, which is kind of like the Flash and the Rogues, and Peter Parker and the Sinister Six. They have a personal relationship. They more or less know certain things about each other, and they hate each other, and they're going to be combating against each other. Very cool stuff. So all this, I think, takes place before he gets the suit taken. I think this is the end of the movie. So cool, man.
Just don't do anything stupid.
End of that shot right there on the plane.
All right?
Yeah.
So everything we've seen in the cars, everything that is in the Iron Man tech, I think all of that takes place before the end of the movie. That scene with the airplane and him fighting Vulture, I think he's going to beat Vulture without Tony Stark tech. It is his trial by fire. It is his crucible to earn that tech and to really learn more about himself. So I think that is what is going to happen. And man, I just really love so much about this movie, man. So, I mean, let me know, guys. I try to do a nice breakdown for you, bring some stuff to light that maybe you hadn't seen, and just go over what I really like as a Spider-Man fan. I am a huge Spider-Man fan. He and the Scarlet Spider are my favorite heroes. I love Peter Parker. That bad luck, but I got to do the right thing. I have all this power, but I'm not perfect. It's a really awesome story, and I really think that they're nailing all the notes that I want personally as a huge Spider-Man fan. So I want to bring this to you guys. I'm going to try to upload it as quickly as possible so that you can check this out. Let me know in the comment section, is there something I missed? Are there questions you have? Please let me know. I might want to cover this trailer and Spider-Man in general on the new Nerdy News Hour this Thursday. I'm not sure. We got to talk Justice League trailer, which I am going to put up a video for that as well. But it's not as breakdowny as this, just because, man, I really did not like the Justice League trailer the way that I like this trailer. And it's a contextual thing, so we'll get into that. But yeah, let me know, guys. Hit me up in the comment section. Motherfucking Spider-Man trailer! That's what I'm talking about. We got this, and it's awesome, man. So pumped. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!